Okay, what I'm going to do now is I've got a handful of pots here, and what I'm going to do is go through the lot of them and I'll tell you the weights of them, and some of them are ideal for bushcrafting and some of them are ideal for hiking, and some are sort of ideal for in-betweeners as well, because you've got your hikers and you've got your bushcrafters, and your bushcrafters like solid stuff and your hikers like light stuff, and you got sort of in between. I'm in betweeners as well. I'm sort of in between. I like something solid, but I like it as light as possible, you know. And whereas a hiker might skimp on quality just to get that lightness, like. And also I've got a load of cookers here, different types, different weights, and different usages and fuels and stuff. So I'm going to go through them, and also the ease of setting them up as well. That's quite important. I don't think many people mention that, is the ease of setting the cooker up. If you're at the end of your tether and you've had a little bit of a bad day, or you're wet and tired or something like that, and you've got to dig into your discipline to get down on one knee and get your stuff out and set your cooker up to make a meal and a drink just to bring you back up, it's not very nice. So to have a nice cooker that's easy to put together to get it going is quite good, I think, quite important. And also I'll mix the cookers up a little bit to make a bit of a Frankenstein monster of a cooker, just a little bit. And also at the end there'll be I'll tell you which one is the best weight wise, you know. There'll be a one pot winner and a 2-pot winner. Alright, so anyway, let's get on with it. From heavy to light, let's start off with the pots. Now this particular pot is by Life Venture. It's got Life Venture on there, lightly stamped in. I don't know whether you can see that. Now they don't make them anymore, but the ones that do make this sort of pot is MSR, called MSR Seagull pots. Alright, and what you do, it's the same size as this one. Just unclip that, clip the handle in, put it like that, and the lid comes off, and it's absolutely solid. This, I can't even bend that. It's absolutely solid. Alright, so yeah, so I think this pot is ideal for the bushcrafter. I used to hike with this pot actually, but I think it's considered a little bit heavy these days. Well, I think some people would think it's heavy, and you know, but it's absolutely solid. I've had this forever, this pot, so it's still going strongly. So anyway, the weight of this Life Venture pot is 1 pound 2 ounces. Okay, now I know that, I think in some people's mind that is quite heavy. All right, but it is solid, and I think these days the bushcrafter would like this one because it's solid, and you know, bushcrafters might not sort of hike very far, you know. So I don't know, you might do, I don't know, I shouldn't say that really. But anyway, it's a bit heavy for these days, I think, but still brilliant. And it's ideal for the bushcrafter. So next up is the mess tins, army mess tins. Now these army mess tins are Dutch army mess tins. And they're stainless steel, and there's 2 of them, and the 2 of them together weigh 1 pound 1.4 ounces. Still a bit heavy, you know, still in the bushcraft realm, you know, so that, you know, I don't think the hiker would carry these really. You can get better weight wise. So anyway, that's the Dutch Army mess tins. Next up is the 1.6 Tatonka. Okay, Tatonka 1.6. It's got a plate and a lid. There, it's got a nice pot. That's the size of it. So it is a smallish pot. It's got a handle there for the plate as well, and it's got some markings on the inside for capacity. And Yeah, it's 1.6 the capacity is. So it's a nice solid pot. The metal is a bit thinner to reduce the weight a bit, but it's still quite solid, and that makes quite a lot of noise. So if you're in trouble, you could bang this 3 times or something, and hopefully someone would come along. But anyway, still in the realms of bushcrafting, I think. The old bushcrafters like the baling arm, don't they? Oh, well, that was a little branch, sort of bent out bit there. But I think the hiker could, the in-betweener like me, could carry something like this. The lightweight hikers might not like this sort of pot, but yeah, I think it's all right. You know, a little bit on the big side. If there was ideal for 2 people, but you know, so yeah. So take it from what you will, you know, with this pot. But it's good, solid, well made, and the bushcrafters would like it. But I think the hiker might like this as well, you know. The weight of it is 15.7 ounces. All right, so things are getting lighter. So next up is the Zebra pot. All right, now you've heard of the Zebra billy can. Well, this is the same company, and it's the Zebra pot. It's a bit smaller, so we're getting lighter now, but still that solid steel, you know. So then clips like that, and you can clip the handle in like that. Take the lid off, and it's got this little plate inside. Now I've put holes in mine, 2mm holes, to make it into a steamer, so I can boil in there and steam in there. But I don't actually use it now. I just use the pot, and I'll tell you what the weight of the pot is, not with this. All right. So, but it's absolutely solid, lasts forever. Made of stainless steel. A bit smaller than the others, so you know, the hiker could carry this. You know, someone like me that likes things a little bit solid as well. But you know, that's up to you. It depends what type you are. Now this Zebra pot is 13.3 ounces. Okay, so still sort of heavy, but well, you know, you just get what you feel like getting in it. You know what you can afford. Now the next step is this Life Venture pot. Now it did go, these two went together. This one went inside of there, but I wouldn't put them together now because that's quite heavy. All right, so it's just a pot and a lid. There's nothing holding the lid down, and I've put a little pot grip in there. That doesn't really belong in there, but anyway, it's an absolutely solid pot, absolutely solid. I can't bend that, and it's just a bit smaller than my hand. Look, so I don't know the capacity really. Couple of litres, no, 1 litre maybe. I'm not sure, but it's a nice little pot that's ideal for the bushcrafter and the hiker. You know, sort of in between, you know, because it's a small pot. But it's yeah, I like it. I put the holes in there. Shouldn't have done that really, but yeah. So it's the same size as the MSR, the small MSR Seagull. All right, it's exactly the same size, but it hasn't got the clip going over the top. So that's that. Did I say the weight? I did, didn't I? 12.5 ounces. If I didn't, so it's 12.5 ounces. Now, getting into the light stuff. I've got one titanium pot here and one lid that goes with it, with a set of handles, and very light, very good really. Quite, you know, but you pay for these luxuries, unfortunately. The titanium can be a bit expensive. This one's by Vargo. There's the name there, just in between my fingers. Don't know whether you can see that. And the weight of this The Vargo pot is 5.6 ounces. Okay, nice and light, really nice and light. So there you go, that's that. 5.6 ounces. And I've got a set of 2 titanium pots here by MSR, and it's got a little light a pot grip inside, and also the bag as well. And the weight of that is, well, it's got a lid, and I've actually put holes in the lid, and I can turn it around and make it into a boiler and a steamer. Okay, I do things like that. So if I wanted to do that. And anyway, the weight of this, both of them together, all together, including the bag, is 10.7 ounces. All right. I think the little pot inside might maybe about 3.3 ounces, 3 point something ounces, something like that. But all of it together is 10.7 ounces. All right. And also, I've got the Trangia pot. The Trangia pot is in here, just one pot. All right, it's inside here. That's 3 ounces. Going up in weight a little bit now. It's not the lightest one. The pot of the Crusader Mark II is like a tall cup, you know, and the weight of that is 7 ounces. All right. So that's the pots. Right, I'll now go on to the cookers. And now for the cookers, I'm going to start off with the heavy stuff again. And what I've got here is the Firebox Freestyle. Now I've already done a video on this, and I've concluded that it's a little bit of a faff putting it together when you're in the hills and in slightly more difficult conditions. Okay, I would say it belongs on the lowland in the woodlands. Okay. Bit heavy, you know, for what it is. It's £1 7.8 ounces, and if you start adding Trangia spirit burners or Trangia gas conversions, then it's going to be a bit heavy, really, you know. So it's best just to use it, just to put wood in it to make to get your fuel, you know. Just use wood as fuel. The only thing I could suggest is what I've got here is the little cup from the Crusader Mark II cooker, an old one I had. I've cut it out, took a bit doing, but it's hard anodized aluminium, so imagine the weight of that is next to nothing. Now that would enable you to use it with this or any other sort of cooker. With solid fuel tablets or methylated spirits. Just bear in mind, with the base on this, it's not fixed in. You can put it at any height. All right, I have tried it, and it's pretty good. In fact, if you put the base up in the middle and it's all solid, you've got another 2 pins to put on top to put a pot on. You know, if you're using a pot and not a cup. So, oh, sorry, a cup instead of a pot. I mean, but yeah, so bit heavy, very good, very cleverly put together as well. You'll see that in other YouTube videos. Not mine, other people's, how clever they are. But yeah, they're good. It's a good wood burner, but a little bit on the heavy side, I think. And it's a bit of a faff putting it together. So next up is the Solo Stove Lite. Alright, so it looks like that. Now the pot itself, I didn't actually mention the weight, I forgot. It's actually 9.2 ounces, that. Alright, stainless steel, solid. It's got 2 handles there and a little sort of spoke thing there, and it's got little markings on the edge there for fluid quantity. Okay. Not a lover of pots like this because it's narrow. Because it's narrow on the bottom and tall on the edge, it's sort of made for really ideal for boiling noodles or boiling the bags, you know. If you put wet food in there, you'd have to stir it regularly to stop it burning, because it's I'd prefer a pot that's wider and less tall, you know. but it's good anyway. You know, it's well made and it's fine. I'm only being fussy. All right. Now the cooker looks like this. Get it out of its little bag. I'll get rid of these pins. And I'll get rid of the spirit burner. You can store a spirit burner in there, but the weight, I haven't included the spirit burner in the weight, all right? So, oh, I have actually, but hang on that. So to set it up, it's absolutely simple. You know, I mean, it's really good. All you do is take it out of this pot and bag and just turn that around, and that's it. That is it. You know, simple as that. You just get your spirit burner, or you put methylated spirit straight in actually. Get it in there, get it lit, put that on, put your pot on, or you could put twigs, feed twigs in that gap there, and that's it. It'll gasify the flame as well because it's double walled. The air will go in through the holes on the edge and come out on the holes on the inside there. So it's really economical. So yeah, that's a nice little cooker actually. It's not bad. So I'd carry it, you know, even on a long distance thing really. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So the only thing is I'm not a lover of pots like that, that's tall on the edge and narrow on the bottom. So yeah, so I'll just get that in there. Put it away like that, put the Tangier spirit burner in, put the little pins in, pull a bag like that, and then it fits together like that. Put the handles away, tuck it down, put that top on. Marvellous, and that top will lock upwards as well, like that. Put it across, and then it'll go down as well. So yeah, not bad. Weight of it, sort of like it's £1, 1.7 ounce altogether, and with the spirit burner, it's £1, 5.7 ounces. All right, so there you go. So that's the Solo Stove Light. Alright, Crusader Mark 1, just the cooker on its own. Alright, it does come with a set with a water bottle and a cup and a pot and all that, but I'm just going to add this on its own. Alright, now it's absolutely brilliant, solid steel, lasts forever. Alright, it's got a little cup in the bottom there, similar to this, but well, it's exactly the same, except that one in there is steel and that one is hard anodized aluminium. And you could put the methylated spirit straight in there, or you could put a Trangia spirit burner in there, like that. It doesn't, if you put a cup on top, on there like that, it doesn't, it'll snuff that flame out. So you've got to put a grid over the top or something like that. There is a shield as well. I've done a video on that already, but it'll still snuff it out actually. But it's absolutely solid. The weight of it is, let's have a look, 6.5 ounces. All right, so it's for the solidness and the reliability and simplicity, that's worth carrying that weight, I think. Pretty good, you know. You can't have gas with it, you know. It's a methylated spirit thing or a solid fuel, but yeah, considering it's steel, it's only a small lump of steel, you know, so it's worth the weight and it'll last a long time. Bushcrafters like this sort of thing, and a hiker can as well, you know. It's pretty good. So there you go, that's the Mark 1 Crusader cooker. Right, next up, Pocket Rocket, the stereotypical traditional cooker that fits on top of a gas container. So there you go, there's your gas container, gas bottle. Get the cover off there, screw it on, and away you go, you know. So it's as simple as that, and it's a nice simple setup, and very popular, very light as well. Okay, reliable as well. They make them really good these days. And I like this is the Pocket Rocket first one. I think you got a Pocket Rocket 2 and Deluxe and all that, but I like this one the best because these stands are just simpler than the other ones. With the other ones, you've got to pull them out, pull the other bit out, and then when you tuck it away, you're not sure whether to tuck that away first or what have you. And I just found it a bit of a faff. You'd get used to it in the end, but I like this Pocket Rocket one because you set it up with a gas bottle, dead simple, even in bad conditions, or if you're a bit tired and stuff. And then all you got to do is pull the prongs out like that, and that's it. Pull the tap out, easy, simple and easy, and put it away. Just put them together and put that in, and shove it in here when it's cooled down. So yeah, and the weight of it is that, as it is there now, is 4 ounces. All right, so it's light, very, very attractive and desirable gas. People like the long distance hikers like gas, I think, you know, that it's light because it's light, you know. The through hikers in America going across the country and all that. I've seen the videos, I enjoy them, and but they're mad on getting the stuff light, and this is what they use, I think, you know, what cookers like this. So that's that type of cooker. It's the Pocket Rocket 1 or the first one. Right, okay, the Crusader Mark II with the Mark I cooker. Let's see if I can just get this together. What I've done, it comes in a bag as well, but I got the bag there. I'll just show you how it all nestles together like this. What I've done is I've taken away the Mark II cooker because it's okay, it does a good job and it's a good design, but some people think it's a bit flimsy, and I thought the only reason people think it's flimsy is because you can bend bits on it and break it off, and you know, but you shouldn't be doing stuff like that anyway. But I thought, you know, I prefer the Mark I cooker, but I like the lightness of the Mark II because the Mark II is hard anodized aluminium with a plastic cup, and the other one, the Mark I, is steel, you know. So but if you don't know what it is you've got your it's all nestled together. You've got your cooker on the bottom there, you've got a water bottle on the inside there, you can't see it, there's the top of it. It's all good high quality stuff. Then you've got your pot, which is a bit of an upright pot really, not my favourite. Again, made for boiling noodles, boiling water, and boiling the bags really, you know. Then you got your plastic cup. All right, it's all solid good stuff. All right, now the weight of this as it is, but I haven't included the water bottle, all right, because this is going into a competition later for the weights of the others. Right, so the Crusader Mark II, the Crusader Mark I cooker, pot, cup, and the frying pan. Where have I put it? There it is, because the Trangia's in there with it, so I want to add this little frying pan, all right? No water bottle. That, as you see it, with its bag as well, is £1 10 ounces. All right, £1 10 ounces. So so that's the Mark II cooker with a Mark I cooker on the bottom. It's a good setup actually. Show you the bag if you don't know. There's the bag. Got a little hole on the bottom to drain water, and it's got a molly on the back there, and it's got a cinching on the top. So that's that. Okay, let's mix things up a bit, make it more interesting. Now I'm going to add the windshield and the frying pan together with some of these cookers because I dropped that because this is in with it, and it's got a windshield and a frying pan. So I've tried to make it as fair as possible. Okay, so first up, the Crusader Mark II, but instead of a cooker with it, you can add this titanium fire box with it. Okay, the Firebox Nano. Now that will fit in the bag with it slipped down the edge. So, and also when it's opened up, it fits this pot perfectly as well. All right, but in between the pins. Now the weight of that setup with a frying pan, I'm not going to add a windshield. Right, the Crusader Mark II with a Firebox Nano, fire cup, oh, a little fire cup as well. I'm dropping everything. So you could use this and this together to allow you to put methylated spirits in it, and solid fuel as well. So with all that lot together, frying pan, I need more fingers, and this little fuel cup thing weighs, I'm not including the water bottle, it weighs £1 9.3 ounces. Okay, now the exact setup again, oh, heck. except you take the little cup away and add the Trangia conversion. Okay, so you could use this with gas. All right, not the gas fuel as well, just this together. That would weigh £1 15.5 ounces. Okay, it sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? But that is a bit weighty. So you know, it's good to put these things together, because you think you got this titanium this and this light stuff that, and then you put it all together and it's worse than that on its own, you know. So I'm trying to make it fair like that. So yeah, so the gas conversion with the Firebox Nano with the Crusader Mark II setup, not including the water bottle, the weight of the water bottle to make it fair, is £1 15.5 ounces. So there you go, my arm's starting to ache now, so so that's that. And that also includes the weight of the bag as well. Okay, what about the Trangia 27, the gas conversion, the Trangia pan stand, so you can use any pot, and just one titanium pot on its own? What do you think that weighs? You'd think it'd be light, wouldn't you? But by the way, I have tested this pot. It does nestle in there perfectly, and it does. You can use it with the Trangia as well because of the Trangia pan stand. So the weight of that is £1 14.4 ounces. So that's a fair bit of weight. You know, it's a good setup, but there's a bit of weight in this actually, and I suppose there's not much weight in that. You know, I don't know why it's heavier. I double checked it, and it's actually, you'd think it'd be lighter because this is one pot instead of two and it's titanium. But oh, by the way, when I was weighing all this, I did discover that aluminium and titanium is very, very similar in weight. Very similar, you know, except this is expensive and the aluminium is a lot cheaper. And this particular one is hard anodized aluminium, okay? That's the windshield and the pots. So yeah, flipping quite heavy that setup is. So what if I took the gas conversion away and had just this, took the pan stand away as well, and just had one of its own pot, the Trangia pot in there with this. Okay, that would be £1 10.2 ounces. All right, so that's a little bit better. And the Trangia 27 with one pot, but with the gas conversion. Okay, one of its own pot, no, not the titanium pot. That would be £1 12.9 ounces. All right, so that's yes, that's a bit of weight, you know. Well, it depends how you it depends what you resonate with as well, because I feel at home with the Trangia 27, and I feel at home with the Mark II Crusader with the Mark 1 pot, you know. So and the Firebox Nano with the Crusader Mark II is a new discovery with me, and I would get used to that. I think that's a good setup. I like it. I can just tell, you know. So it's not just the weight, it's what you resonate with as well, you know. It's sort of psychological. Although you would, anything that you're uncomfortable with, you would get into a routine anyway. It's like getting a new job, isn't it? You get into a routine with it and you get comfortable with it. Yeah, so Trangia 27 gas conversion, one of its own pot is £1 12.9 ounces. Right, okay. The Trangia 27 with the spirit burner, with its normal 2 pots, its normal setup, is £1 13.1 ounce. And with a gas conversion, with this normal setup with 2 pots, is £1 15.8 ounces. Okay, so there's a bit of weight there, isn't there, you know. So who's going to win? Do you think this Trangia 27 is going to win? I don't know. You'll find out. So that's so far. Okay, there's no more messing about. But just before I'm going to go into the 1 pot winners and all that, I just want to say that these 2 gadgets, the hard anodized aluminium little fuel cup there out of the Crusader 2 cup that I've cut out, and the Trangia spirit burner, you all know that, them 2 gadgets do the same thing. Okay, but this is the weight is next to nothing, and the weight of this is 4.2 ounces. Okay, and okay, you can snuff this out and store the fuel inside, and control the fuel flame as well. You can't with this, but you know, you could get used to the quantity of putting the methylated spirits in this, I suppose, and the weight, you know, it keeps it down a bit. That might be worth thinking about, getting something like this. So and that's just what I wanted to say anyway. And also, if you wanted both, they nestle together. Okay, so that's that. But anyway, right, I want to get into the 1 pot winners now. And the 1 pot winners are, for the gas, is the Pocket Rocket, MSR Pocket Rocket, and the I gotta have the windshield and the frying pan. Okay, there it is. And the 1 pot, the titanium MSR titanium pot, the outer one, not both of them. All right, then that setup together is £1 6.2 ounces. Okay, that's the lightest setup out of all of them as well. So that's the 1 pot winner for the gas. Now the 1 pot winner for the meths is the Solo Stove Light. Okay, that's with the frying pan. Where are you? Okay, and spirit burner as well. Get that on there. There is one inside actually. But they get that on there. Now that's the 1 pot winner for the meths, and that weight is £1 9.2 ounces. Okay, so that's the 1 pot winner for the Meths. However, there is a close runner-up as well, and that is the Mark II pot cup, not the cooker, but the Firebox Nano titanium, and this little fire cup as well. Okay, and the frying pan. I didn't add the windshield, and the frying pan as well. Let's get that frying pan on the top there, and that, I expect I'll drop it. There you go. I told you I did, didn't I? The weight of that is 1 pound 9.3 ounces. Okay, so Solar Stove Light, 1 pound 9.2. Crusader Mark II, this setup, 1 pound 9.3. Okay, so they're the winners of the 1 pots. And the 2 pot winners are the MSR Pocket Rocket, MSR Titanium Pots ×2 in its set, including the bag and everything, and the little Trangia frying pan and the windshield. Okay, and the frying pan actually fits together inside these pots as well perfectly. All right, so for the gas, that is the 2 pot winners. There you go, and it weighs 1 pound 9 ounces. 1 pound 9 ounces. Okay, now the 2 pot winners for the Meths is the Trangia 27 series with the little fuel cup setup and not the spirit burner. Okay, and that's 2 pots, is all its normal setup except for the spirit burner, but this instead, and that weighs 1 pound 9.6 ounces. Okay, so very similar to the gas by 0.6 of an ounce. So there you go. So that is the winners of the gas and the Meths. There is a close runner-up, I gotta admit, at 1 pound 10.9 ounces, and that's the Firebox Nano with the MSR pots and the little fuel cup and the frying pan and the windshield as well. But very close, but the Trangia won in the end with the Meths, that is. So there you go. So that's that. Okay, my final thoughts, just little things I want to say. Now you can feel at home with certain cookers and you don't want to let them go. For the sake of carrying an extra few ounces, you know, it's worth being comfortable, I think. So I mean, I'm comfortable with the Trangia 27 for my skill set of cooking and what have you. The reason being, just bear in mind that the pots inside of this are hard anodized aluminium, and the weight between aluminium and titanium is very, very similar. You know, titanium is quite expensive, but it's light, but also aluminium as well. So there's that to think of. I also like the windshield on this because it's solid. You can use it in the hills, high hills, as well as the lowland. Whereas the windshield on this works fine, but it's a bit flimsy. If you grab it quick, you could cut yourself on the edge of it. Okay, and also these pins, you know, they could sort of, you go like this and pull it out, and this, and they could all fall out. Okay, and there's pins on the other side as well, you know. So not a lover of this sort of thing. So in the end, it doesn't matter about the weight really, if you can get it as little light as possible, but you resonate with a certain setup, then keep what you're happy with, okay? I mean, I also like the Mark II Crusader setup as well, and with a Firebox Nano and that little cup, okay, and a titanium pot together adds up at £1 14 odd ounces, whereas the Trangia 27 with the spirit burner is £1 13.1 ounces, you know, so it's very close stuff, but I just feel comfortable with them setups, you know. Now I've shown this on my Instagram, but I'll show you now with a Firebox Nano setup, okay, with a Mark II Crusader pot, and you put the pins sort of like that, and you've got the little cup inside, just drop it in. Simple setup, you know, so you know, it could be uncomfortable, you don't want to faff about. With the big handles as well. That Crusader Mark II cup fits perfectly on the bodywork of the Firebox Nano, okay, just like that. Get these stuck up in the air, just like that. It will not move from side to side, it's perfect, and it won't move that way either, you know, it's absolutely perfect, and because of that I feel really comfortable with it. All right, so, and also when that is burning with that little cup in there in the daytime, and with that little indent on the bottom, it crushes the flame right down and you can't see the flame, you know. I haven't tested it at night, and I think you probably could see it at night, but in the daytime you can't see it, so that's a sort of a tactical thing if you like that sort of thing. So yeah, so yeah, that fits perfectly together. Look at that. So there you go, Frankenstein monster cooker setup or what. So yeah, you know, so if you want to use your own thing and resonate with certain things, but it weighs a few ounces more, pounds is different, but a few ounces more, then use what you're comfortable with, okay. So there you go. So all I want to say now is like, share, subscribe as per usual, and thanks for watching this far. I did go on a bit, I think.